For more than 80 years, one thing has remained constant across our world: the soft patter of tiny mouse feet on hardwood floors, the slow creak of a wooden floorboard straining under weight, and the steady, ever-present rumble of a cat preparing to pounce. A chase. Simple, endless, and strangely beautiful. Tonight, you're not just revisiting a cartoon from your childhood, you're embarking on something deeper. We're exploring the entire Tom and Jerry universe, every era, every reboot, every strange corner of their timeline, and piecing together the hidden story beneath all that slapstick chaos. Because here's the thing, if you look closely enough, if you really pay attention to what's happening between the explosions and the anvils and the perfectly timed piano crashes, Tom and Jerry are not just a cat and a mouse. They are patterns, they are archetypes, they are forces locked in an infinite loop of conflict, comedy, and yes, genuine companionship that has lasted across realities, across different animation studios, and across generations of viewers like you. This isn't just a cartoon that plays on Saturday mornings. This is an ecosystem, a universe with its own physics, a reality where time resets, pain disappears, and two characters who should be mortal enemies share moments of unexpected tenderness. Think about it, a multiverse of chases that all begin and end the same way. Tom wants to win, and Jerry ensures that he never does. But here's what makes it fascinating: that imbalance isn't accidental. It's not poor writing or lazy storytelling. It's the law of their universe. Tom must chase, Jerry must escape. And yet, no matter how many explosions rock the house, how many times Tom falls from impossible heights, how many traps backfire spectacularly, both survive. Both reset, both continue. And perhaps that's exactly what's happening. Across more than 6 decades of animation, we witness strange inconsistencies that hint at something deeper. Tom and Jerry live in different houses across episodes, sometimes a cozy suburban home, sometimes a mansion, sometimes a New York apartment. They sometimes know each other intimately, like old rivals. Sometimes act like complete strangers meeting for the first time, sometimes behave like the best of friends, and sometimes like forgotten gods of chaos. Their powers fluctuate wildly. One episode they're normal house pets, the next they're unbreakable, near immortal forces capable of surviving anything the universe throws at them. Time does not flow normally for them. Pain does not linger. Death does not exist. What does exist is the loop. A loop that begins in 1940 with two characters named Jasper and Jinx, splits into parallel timelines in the early 1960s when new studios took over, fractures into multiple cinematic universes across movies and TV specials, repairs itself through cosmic resets that restore everything to baseline, and continues into the modern streaming era as if nothing ever happened. Tonight, we're going through all of it, slowly, gently, the way you'd tell someone a bedtime story as they drift toward sleep. We'll start with their creation, not just the behind-the-scenes story of animators and studios, but the in-universe birth of their endless chase. We'll trace how the early short films established the fundamental rules of their world, how each animation era changed the physics and tone of their universe, how certain episodes shatter the loop entirely with shocking emotional weight, and how major events like the infamous Blue Cat Blues function as cosmic anomalies that somehow reset reality. We'll also explore the mystery of why Tom and Jerry seem to remember certain events across different timelines, why their friendship keeps slipping through the cracks of their rivalry, and why the universe itself seems determined to keep them together, no matter what. As we move through this timeline, chapter by chapter, you'll notice something subtle happening. Each version of Tom and Jerry reveals a new layer of their relationship, a hidden sadness in Tom's eyes after yet another defeat, a fleeting mercy in Jerry's smile after a particularly brutal victory, moments where they protect each other from outside threats, help each other survive dangerous situations, even mourn for each other when things go too far, only for the loop to reset, and the chase begins again, as if nothing ever happened. But that right there is the beauty of their world. It repeats, but it never feels quite the same. Like waves gently washing onto the shore, each iteration is familiar yet unique. Each chase is new, yet echoes something ancient and primal. And so, as you relax, as your breathing naturally slows, as your thoughts grow soft around the edges, let this timeline carry you. A quiet journey through nostalgia. A gentle descent into a world of animated eternity. A story of two characters who can never escape each other, not out of hatred, not out of programming, but out of purpose. Because in every universe where Tom exists, Jerry must exist too. And where Jerry runs, Tom follows. Forever and always. This is their rhythm, their meaning, their loop. And tonight, we begin tracing it from the very beginning. Welcome to the entire Tom and Jerry timeline. Let's begin where it all started, in the chaos and creativity of 1940s Hollywood. Chapter 1, The Birth of the Loop, 1940 to 1947. Our timeline begins in the early 1940s. Not just the beginning of Tom and Jerry as characters you recognize, but the beginning of the rules that would define their entire universe for the next 80 years. And like all stories of cosmic balance, the origin seems simple, almost too simple. A house, a cat, a mouse, and a single moment that sparks everything. But the deeper you look into these early shorts, the clearer it becomes. Tom and Jerry's world did not grow gradually, evolving over time like most shows do. No, it appeared fully formed, with laws and patterns that would repeat unchanged for decades to come. The protoforms, Jasper and Jinx. The very first short, Puss Gets the Boot, from 1940, introduces versions of the characters we barely recognize today. Tom is named Jasper, a perfectly respectable name that would soon be discarded. Jerry doesn't even have an official name yet. Fans often call him Jinx, though the film never confirms it. Their designs are rough, almost experimental. Their movements feel primitive compared to what comes later. But even here, in this raw first attempt, the cosmic rhythm is already present. Jasper stalks the kitchen with the confidence of a natural predator. Jinx moves with quiet precision, watching, calculating, waiting for the perfect moment. And then their first true conflict erupts. Glass shattering, furniture tipping, complete chaos consuming a perfectly ordinary kitchen, all because a cat must chase and a mouse must escape. It's almost mythological when you frame it that way, isn't it? As if these two beings existed long before their official forms were finalized. As if their identities were still shifting, still being shaped by the universe into the archetypes they were destined to become. The first rule: the house is a battleground. Throughout this early 1940 to 1947 era, Tom and Jerry's world is small, almost claustrophobic in its consistency. Nearly every short takes place in the same kinds of spaces: a cozy 1940s suburban house, a polished living room with a fireplace, a shiny kitchen with checkered floors, a yard with a single white picket fence. This isn't laziness on the animator's part. This is deliberate world building. These early episodes establish that the house is the core of their universe, a contained stage designed for infinite cycles of conflict and resolution. Every household object becomes a potential weapon in their eternal war. Clothing irons, dishes, mops, furniture, lamps, closets, beds. Even the most ordinary mundane item can trigger an entire chain reaction of cause and effect. This is where the reset logic of their reality is first established, and it's crucial you understand this. Items are destroyed. Tom is injured, sometimes severely. Jerry is thrown across rooms. The house itself is often ruined by the end. And then the next episode begins with everything perfectly restored. No scars on Tom's body, no damage to the furniture, no memory of what came before, unless the loop wants them to remember. The second rule: pain is temporary. In the earliest shorts, Tom begins to demonstrate something deeply unusual. He can survive anything. Crushed by a falling piano, he peels himself off the floor, accordion style. Flattened by a door, he inflates back to normal shape within seconds. Electrocuted until he glows like a light bulb, the effects fade almost instantly. Jerry too survives impossible injuries, but here's the key difference: he rarely suffers them. Already in the 1940s, we see a distinct imbalance in the physics of their world. Tom experiences pain. Jerry experiences strategy. This is not cruelty for cruelty's sake. This is programming. Jerry is not stronger than Tom in any physical sense, but he is protected by the fundamental rules of their universe. He is designed to be the constant winner of the loop. Not because he deserves to win, but because he is meant to win. This sets the stage for one of the biggest recurring patterns in the entire 80-year timeline. The third rule: Jerry always gets the final move. Even in the earliest shorts, the pattern is unmistakable once you know to look for it. Tom may chase with determination. Tom may get close, tantalizingly close. Tom may even triumph for a brief, glorious moment. But Jerry always ends the episode with one of the following: a smirk, a wink, a clever escape that leaves Tom bewildered, or sometimes, an act of mercy. That last one is important, so pay attention. Jerry's victory is not always humiliating or cruel. Sometimes it's gentle, almost compassionate. These little moments are subtle, easy to miss if you're just watching for the slapstick, but they hint at something deeper. Jerry does not hate Tom, and Tom does not truly hate Jerry. Their conflict is not personal, it's systemic. It's built into the fabric of their reality. The ambiguous friendship. Many of the early shorts hide moments of unexpected softness. Jerry nursing Tom back to health after the cat is injured by someone else. Tom letting Jerry stay warm during a harsh winter night. Jerry trying to comfort Tom after a devastating heartbreak. Both of them teaming up against common threats, usually Spike the Bulldog. These aren't accidents or continuity errors. They reveal an essential truth of the timeline. Despite being labeled as enemies by the premise, they exist in a relationship that is far more complex. A blend of rivalry, companionship, companionship, and cosmic necessity. In these early years, you can already see it clearly. Tom hesitates before hurting Jerry, as if something deep inside tells him this is wrong. Jerry warns Tom about dangers he doesn't see coming. They team up seamlessly when Spike appears, moving like partners who've worked together for years. It's almost like they remember past cycles, like they've lived this loop many, many times before. And deep inside, beyond conscious thought, they know they'll live it many times again. The fourth rule: side characters exist. Outside the loop Spike. The Bulldog enters the continuity during this era, and something peculiar happens. Unlike Tom and Jerry, Spike holds grudges across episodes, remembers specific events, and reacts consistently, behaves as if time flows normally for him. This is deeply strange when you think about it. Spike seems less bound to the loop's constant resets. He often acts like he remembers exactly what Tom did to him last time, even though technically there shouldn't be a last time in a reset universe. This suggests something fascinating: a stratified universe. Tom and Jerry exist as loop-bound entities, trapped in eternal recurrence. Spike and other side characters exist as more linear beings, experiencing something closer to normal time. This difference becomes critically important later, especially in the timelines where Tom and Jerry become partners instead of enemies. The era ends, but the loop begins. By 1947, the world of Tom and Jerry is fully, completely formed. The loop resets each episode without explanation. Tom is eternally cast as the chaser. Jerry is the protected constant who cannot truly lose. Pain fades instantly, no matter how severe. Time does not exist in any meaningful sense. Their home regenerates perfectly between episodes, and their friendship occasionally breaks through the cycle, hinting at something deeper than simple rivalry. The early shorts don't feel like the beginning of a story. They feel like the middle of an eternal one, and that's because they are. This early era establishes the fundamental logic of Tom and Jerry's universe logic that will be broken, shattered, rewritten, and mysteriously restored across the many decades to come. And now that the rules are firmly set in place, we can move forward into the era where those rules reach their most iconic, most refined, most perfect form. The Golden Age awaits. Chapter 2: The Golden Age, 1947 to 1958. The Golden Age begins in 1947 and spans just over a decade. But in this remarkable era, the universe of Tom and Jerry truly solidifies. The characters evolve both visually and emotionally. The gags become more refined, more sophisticated, and the timeless rules of the loop reach an absolute peak of perfection. Here, the cat and mouse dynamic is no longer experimental or exploratory. It has become art. It has a rhythm, a choreography that feels simultaneously spontaneous and inevitable, like watching a perfectly rehearsed dance, where the dancers still manage to surprise you. The artistic refinement. During this golden period, the designs of Tom and Jerry become truly iconic. Tom gains those wonderfully expressive eyes that can convey everything from determination to despair in a single frame. Jerry's gestures become sharper, more calculated, more devastatingly clever. The backgrounds evolve dramatically. Artists begin using detailed furniture that looks almost photographic, realistic kitchens with working physics, lush gardens with depth and atmosphere, dynamic household layouts that become characters in their own right. Every object becomes part of the narrative now. A rolling pin isn't just a prop, it's a tool for elaborate chaos. A piano isn't just an instrument, it's an impossibly complex trap waiting to spring. The Golden Age perfects the delicate balance between realism and cartoon physics. Characters react believably to gravity and momentum, but also survive situations that would obliterate any living creature. Exaggeration is present in every frame, but every gag follows its own internal logic perfectly. This era becomes the blueprint. Every future incarnation of Tom and Jerry will be measured against these shorts. Musical storytelling reaches perfection. One hallmark of the Golden Age that cannot be overstated is the integration of music into every aspect of the narrative. Every movement, every chase, every mishap aligns perfectly with orchestral cues composed by the legendary Scott Bradley. A tiptoe becomes a delicate staccato note on strings. A crash corresponds to a dramatic cymbal hit. Escapes are accentuated by rapid-fire runs of woodwinds and brass. This musicality enhances the hypnotic effect of the loop exponentially. It isn't just visual chaos anymore. It's rhythmic storytelling. It's ballet. It's opera without words. Many animation historians argue that this is precisely what makes Golden Age shorts timeless. Every single gag exists in perfect synchronization with the soundtrack, creating an almost trance-like viewing experience. The cast expands. During this period, supporting characters gain real prominence and personality. Spike becomes a regular obstacle, and occasionally a surprising ally. Tyke, Spike's adorable puppy son, adds emotional stakes and unexpected nuance. Mammy Two Shoes, the household authority figure, provides clear motivation for Tom's desperate attempts to catch Jerry. These additions expand the universe while actually reinforcing the core rules rather than diluting them. Tom bears responsibility to the household authority and must maintain order. Jerry manipulates both the environment and other characters to ensure his survival. The dynamic becomes increasingly multi-layered, blending physical comedy with genuine tension and surprisingly subtle storytelling. Iconic episodes that define the era. Some episodes from this period exemplify the perfected loop. The Cat Concerto, 1947. Tom attempts to perform a piano concert. Jerry, living inside the piano, systematically sabotages the entire performance. Music and chaos intertwine so seamlessly that you cannot separate them. It's hypnotic. It's brilliant. It won an Academy Award, and rightfully so. Mouse in Manhattan, 1947. Jerry explores New York City alone, highlighting the contrast between freedom and the familiar confinement of home. It expands their world beyond the household while making you appreciate why the house matters so much. The Little Orphan, 1949. Introduces Nibbles, a young mouse sidekick who raises the stakes and increases complexity while maintaining the perfect rhythm. These shorts illustrate how rules, rhythm, and narrative innovation can converge into something transcendent. The philosophy hidden in slapstick. Some critics and scholars suggest that Golden Age Tom and Jerry shorts explore deeper themes than we initially recognize. Tom represents ambition, persistence, and the inevitability of failure despite best efforts. Jerry represents intelligence, survival instinct, and adaptability in the face of overwhelming odds. The household itself becomes a microcosm of life's fundamental challenges, a stage where these eternal struggles play out in miniature. The loop itself takes on symbolic meaning. Failure is temporary. You can always try again. Chaos is inevitable. Accept it. Triumph is fleeting, but deeply satisfying when it arrives. Even though the characters never age or learn in a traditional narrative sense, the repetition creates a strangely comforting rhythm. The same chase, but always a different context. Always a new variation. It's meditative, it's hypnotic, it's safe. End of the Golden Age. By 1958, this remarkable era begins to wind down. Animation budgets decrease as economics shift. New artistic directions emerge from different studios. The perfect universality of the formula begins to fragment, yet the legacy it leaves is permanent. A completely established world with consistent rules. Episodes that remain influential in both animation technique and musical synchronization. A template that will guide every future iteration, every reboot, every reimagining. The Golden Age is the period where Tom and Jerry become truly immortal, not through longevity alone, but through absolute perfection of form. And now, we move into an era of adaptation and accessibility. The age where Tom and Jerry leave the cinema and enter your living room. The television era. Chapter 3. The television era, 1960 to 1975. The 1960s bring a seismic shift for Tom and Jerry. No longer confined to cinema screens where audiences specifically chose to see them, the duo enters television reaching a vastly broader audience but facing much stricter production limitations. The loop remains, the characters remain, but the style, pacing, and tone must evolve to match television standards and budgets. The shift to television. Television is becoming a household staple across America and beyond. But television animation faces challenges that theatrical shorts never encountered. Lower budgets mean fewer frames per second, impacting the smoothness of motion. Episodes are often shorter, roughly 6 to 7 minutes instead of the theatrical 10 to 11. Stricter content guidelines require toning down violence and adjusting humor. Despite these significant constraints, the creators managed to preserve the essential elements. Core slapstick routines that define the characters. Musical integration, though simplified. Tom and Jerry's timeless personalities remain intact. The result, slightly cruder visuals, yes, but the humor remains effective. The loop remains hypnotic. Changes in artistic style television era animation introduces noticeable differences that fans debate to this day. Simplified backgrounds to save production time and money. Less fluid character motion due to reduced frame rates. Stronger outlines and bolder colors that read better on smaller, lower resolution TV screens. While the Golden Age emphasized realism within cartoon physics, the TV era prioritizes efficiency, clarity, and speed. Some fans see this as a decline in artistry. Others appreciate how it made the shorts more accessible to home audiences who might never have seen them otherwise. The role of music evolves. Music in the television era becomes less intricate, but remains important. Soundtracks are shorter and simpler, often using stock music cues. Musical synchronization emphasizes key gags rather than orchestrating entire scenes. The rhythm is still present, that hypnotic quality remains, but the sophisticated orchestration gives way to efficiency. This approach keeps the loop engaging, but less musically complex than the Golden Age masterpieces. Notable episodes and patterns. Several TV-era episodes demonstrate clever adaptation to these new limitations. limitations. Penthouse Mouse, 1963. Tom and Jerry's conflict moves to a high-rise setting. Gags are quicker and more visually driven than narrative-heavy. Is There a Doctor in the Mouse? 1964. Combines classic slapstick with situational comedy. Simplified musical cues effectively drive the pacing. These episodes show how creative teams adjusted their storytelling to fit television formats while maintaining that essential, hypnotic chase loop. Budget limitations. Spark creativity. Interestingly, budget constraints sometimes force brilliant creative problem-solving. Fewer frames per second lead to faster cuts and more exaggerated poses that actually enhance the comedy. Reuse of backgrounds and stock animations becomes common, but doesn't diminish the core appeal. Simplified props focus viewer attention on the action, rather than getting lost in details. Ironically, these limitations may have actually enhanced the hypnotic effect of the loop for some viewers. The action feels more repetitive, more rhythmic, and thus more soothing. This contributes significantly to the later phenomenon of people using Tom and Jerry compilations to fall asleep. Legacy of the TV era. Even with reduced budgets and simplified production, the television era successfully preserves what matters most. Core character dynamics remain unchanged. Slapstick storytelling continues to entertain. The hypnotic chase loop persists across all changes. More importantly, this era ensures that Tom and Jerry reach entirely new generations of viewers. The loop goes global. The characters become embedded in popular culture worldwide in ways theatrical shorts alone never could have achieved. By 1975, Tom and Jerry have fully transitioned from cinematic artistry to home entertainment. The golden age perfection has given way to TV efficiency, but it's a necessary evolution for wider reach and long-term sustainability. And this evolution continues as we enter the next phase: revivals and reinventions for new generations. Chapter 4: The Revival Era, 1975 to 2000. The Revival Era marks a fascinating period of experimentation and reinvention. After the TV era established their presence in homes worldwide, Tom and Jerry begin adapting to rapidly changing audience tastes, with new studios, evolving technologies, and completely different expectations shaping the content. Why the revival? Several cultural factors drive this renaissance. Nostalgia. Parents who grew up watching Tom and Jerry want their children to experience that same joy. Competition. New animated series push Hanna-Barbera and other studios to innovate or risk irrelevance. Technology. Advances in animation, including early digital techniques, allow for smoother production than TV-era shortcuts permitted. This era is characterized by a mix of short films, TV specials, feature-length movies, and compilation shows, each experimenting with the formula in different ways. Notable revivals and experiments. Some key projects define this period. Tom and Jerry the Movie, 1992. A full-length theatrical feature that makes the controversial choice to give both characters full dialogue and voices. It's narrative-heavy, a significant departure from purely visual humor. Reception is decidedly mixed. Many fans feel the loss of silent slapstick charm diminishes what makes the characters special. Holiday specials. Productions like Santa's Little Helpers and The Mansion Cat integrate thematic storytelling with traditional antics, finding reasonable success. Compilations and themed shorts. Classic episodes are remastered and repurposed, introducing younger audiences to the original loop, while giving nostalgic adults a chance to revisit their childhood. These revivals test how far the format can stretch without losing its fundamental hypnotic appeal. Technology impacts. Production advancements in animation technology begin to influence the series. Frame rates improve, motion becomes smoother than the TV era. Backgrounds and effects gain more depth and visual richness. Distribution channels explode. VHS, DVD, cable TV, and early digital formats all carry Tom and Jerry to new audiences. Technology provides greater flexibility in storytelling, enabling everything from simple shorts to complex narratives while retaining those hypnotic chase sequences that define the franchise. The loop remains central. Despite all these experiments, innovations, and changes, the core chase loop persists unchanged. Tom plots, Jerry evades. Physical comedy dominates every iteration. Repetitive sequences continue to hypnotically lull viewers, contributing significantly to the later fall asleep to cultural phenomenon. This consistency proves the fundamental timelessness of the formula. Regardless of era, medium, or technological advancement, the basic dynamics remain comforting and entertaining. People trust the loop. They find safety in its predictability. Cultural impact expands. By the year 2000, Tom and Jerry have achieved remarkable cultural status. Global icons recognized across multiple generations. The loop has become an unexpected tool for relaxation relaxation and nostalgia therapy. Multiple generations experience the duo differently, yet the core hypnotic chase remains universally understood. Merchandise, home video collections, and themed television blocks solidify Tom and Jerry's place as timeless animated characters who transcend their original era. The revival era proves conclusively that Tom and Jerry can evolve, adapt, and modernize without losing their essential hypnotic charm. They survived the transition from theaters to televisions to home video to cable to early digital streaming. The foundation is firmly laid for the next great transformation, the complete digital revolution. Chapter 5, The Digital and Streaming Era, 2000 to present. The digital and streaming era represents perhaps the most dramatic transformation yet for Tom and Jerry. With complete digitization of animation, the explosive rise of streaming platforms, and fundamentally changing audience viewing habits, the characters enter a brave new world, and yet remarkably, they keep that classic hypnotic loop perfectly intact. The digital transformation. By the early 2000s, animation production has moved entirely digital. Two-dimensional digital animation completely replaces traditional cell animation. Color palettes become brighter, more uniform, more vibrant on modern screens. Editing and compositing are dramatically streamlined. Motion becomes even smoother while preserving that signature slapstick timing. Digital tools enable faster production cycles, allowing creation of both short-form content for television and longer projects for streaming platforms. Streaming platforms transform accessibility. The rise of Netflix, HBO Max, Boomerang, and YouTube brings revolutionary new viewing habits. Viewers can binge-watch entire decades of shorts in single sessions. The hypnotic chase loop gains an unexpected fall asleep to audience who use compilations as soothing background content. Global accessibility increases exponentially, reaching audiences who might never have encountered broadcast television. This era cements Tom and Jerry's unexpected role as comforting, easy-to-watch content ideal for both children seeking entertainment and adults seeking nostalgic relaxation. Notable digital projects. Several key projects define this contemporary era. Tom and Jerry Tales, 2006 to 2008. Full digital production featuring new slapstick adventures. Successfully maintains classic chase loops while exploring modern storylines and settings. Tom and Jerry, 2021. A bold live-action/CGI hybrid feature film that introduces modern storytelling while keeping traditional comedic timing largely intact. Streaming specials and shorts. Platforms commission short-form content perfectly suited for digital attention spans, often 5 to 10 minutes, ideal for quick viewing sessions. These projects demonstrate how the franchise continues adapting without losing its essence. Modern animation techniques. Digital animation enables capabilities that earlier eras could only dream of. CGI elements seamlessly blend with classic 2D character designs, enhanced visual effects like realistic shadows, reflections, and motion blur. High-definition resolution makes content stunning on modern large-format screens. Despite these technical advances, the animation carefully retains exaggerated expressions and precise timing that remain crucial for maintaining that hypnotic slapstick quality. The loop in the streaming era. The hypnotic chase loop proves perfectly suited for streaming culture. The timeless dynamic Tom chases, Jerry evades translates flawlessly to on-demand viewing. Short, repetitive sequences work beautifully for streaming attention spans and binge-watching behaviors. Background continuity makes the content comfortingly predictable while remaining visually engaging. This consistency allows literally decades of content to remain relevant, hypnotic, and soothing to viewers across all demographics. Global cultural impact. The digital era dramatically expands Tom and Jerry's worldwide reach. Available globally on multiple streaming services simultaneously. Social media clips introduce micro-chase loops to audiences who've never seen full episodes. The hypnotic effect is actively leveraged for ASMR-style fall-asleep-to compilation videos on YouTube. Tom and Jerry transition from nostalgic television characters to digital cultural icons, continuing to captivate multiple generations across every continent. The digital and streaming era proves definitively that even characters approaching 90 years old can remain vibrantly relevant. They continue to entertain, relax, and hypnotically charm viewers around the world. The loop endures. The chase continues. And now, let's explore the deeper meaning behind why this simple cat and mouse dynamic has such a profound hold on our collective consciousness. Chapter 6. The Legacy and Hypnotic Loop. Tom and Jerry's story transcends simple slapstick comedy. What we're really witnessing is a cultural, psychological, and creative legacy spanning nearly a century. The hypnotic loop, that repetitive chase with its perfect comic timing, is fundamentally central to why audiences continue watching, finding comfort, and even falling asleep to these classic cartoons. Let's examine why. The hypnotic chase loop explained. The core formula remains elegantly simple. Setup. Tom sees Jerry or wants something he possesses. Chase. Jerry evades using clever tricks, environmental obstacles, and perfectly timed slapstick. Climax. Tom is foiled in increasingly exaggerated, spectacular ways. Reset. Everything returns to baseline, ready for the cycle to begin again. This loop accomplishes something remarkable psychologically. It soothes the mind through comforting predictability. It provides humor and controlled tension release. It engages viewers with minimal cognitive effort required. Psychologists and neuroscientists note that repetitive visual patterns can actually induce mild relaxation and light hypnotic states, perfectly explaining the popularity of fall asleep to Tom and Jerry compilations that now have millions of views. Generational appeal. Tom and Jerry appeal universally across all ages. Children enjoy bright visuals, clear conflicts, and humorous violence that feels safe because nothing has lasting consequences. Adults enjoy deep nostalgia, sophisticated visual gags, and appreciation for classic animation artistry. Teenagers and young adults engage through streaming clips, social media loops, and ironic appreciation. The elegant simplicity of the chase makes it universally understandable, completely transcending language barriers and cultural differences. Influence on animation. The legacy extends far beyond entertainment. Animators worldwide study Tom and Jerry to master timing, exaggeration, and anticipation. Shows like SpongeBob SquarePants, modern Looney Tunes revivals, and countless others borrow classic chase sequences and visual gag structures. Digital animation frequently employs the hypnotic loop principle for content specifically designed to relax or engage viewers. Tom and Jerry aren't just cartoons, they're educational masterclasses in comic timing and visual storytelling. The psychological comfort factor. Watching Tom and Jerry can genuinely be therapeutic. Predictable outcomes provide a sense of control in an unpredictable world. Humor and safe conflict resolution trigger dopamine release and reduce stress. Background viewing, or fall asleep to loops, actively calm racing minds before rest. The hypnotic loop isn't passive entertainment. It actively engages the brain in beneficial stress relief and mental relaxation patterns. The timelessness of slapstick, classic physical comedy ensures remarkable longevity. Physical humor completely transcends era-specific references that date other content. Exaggerated expressions remain universally funny across generations and cultures. Minimal dialogue allows global comprehension and accessibility. This timeless humor means even modern audiences with no historical context can immediately enjoy and understand the hypnotic chase. Global impact. Tom and Jerry have achieved truly international icon status. Broadcast in hundreds of countries across every continent. Subtitled or dubbed versions maintain perfect visual clarity of gags. The hypnotic loop works universally comprehensible even without any language understanding. Streaming services amplify this effect exponentially by giving worldwide audiences instant access to decades of content. The loop never truly ends because it was never meant to end. Tom and Jerry exist in a perfect eternal present, always chasing, always escaping, always returning to the beginning. And somehow, that brings us comfort. In a world of constant change, they remain wonderfully hypnotically the same. Chapter 7. Behind the scenes and hidden secrets. While Tom and Jerry are known worldwide for their iconic chases, there's a fascinating treasure trove of behind-the-scenes facts and lesser-known lore that makes the series even more captivating. Let's explore the secrets from the animation desk. Origin stories. William Hanna and Joseph Barbera created Tom and Jerry in 1940 at MGM Studios, originally called Jasper and Jinx names that thankfully didn't stick. The first short, Puss Gets the Boot, was essentially a test. When it became a surprise hit, MGM immediately greenlit a full series. This early success, almost accidental, laid the foundation for a cultural phenomenon that would span nearly a century. Animation techniques. The artistry behind the simplicity is remarkable. Exaggerated physicality. Every slap, crash, and chase was meticulously storyboarded to maximize comedic timing down to individual frames. Silent storytelling. With minimal dialogue, animators relied completely on expressive movements, facial expressions, and musical synchronization. Frame recycling. To save time and budget, certain movements and reactions were reused across episodes, a common practice you likely never noticed because it was done so skillfully. These hidden animation techniques contributed enormously to that hypnotic flow we've discussed. Music and sound magic. Scott Bradley, the legendary composer, created music that functioned almost as a third character. Mickey Mousing technique. Music literally follows character movements in real time, enhancing both tension and comedic timing. Creative sound effects. Recorded using surprising props, coconuts for footsteps, watermelons for impacts, creative household items for crashes. The soundtrack contributes enormously to the hypnotic and emotionally engaging experience. Controversial moments. Some early shorts included stereotypes or content considered inappropriate by modern standards. Contemporary adaptations have edited or removed certain scenes. Historians note these moments moments reflect the cultural context of the 1940s to 1950s, America important to acknowledge while recognizing why changes were necessary. These revisions show how even timeless classics must adapt to evolving social understanding. Voice acting and meaningful silence. Tom rarely speaks. Jerry never speaks. This silence adds profound universality. When dialogue appears, it's often exaggerated gibberish that enhances comedy without creating language barriers. This brilliant technique allows viewers of any language to understand and enjoy the story completely. Hidden Easter eggs creators frequently included inside jokes for fellow animators. Some episodes subtly reference famous movies, celebrities, or political events in background details. Observant fans have discovered tiny visual gags and recurring props that reward multiple viewings. These Easter eggs make watching the loops repeatedly continually engaging. You always discover something new. Awards and recognition. Tom and Jerry became the first cartoon characters to win an Academy Award for Best Animated Short Film in 1943 with The Yankee Doodle Mouse. They would go on to win 7 Academy Awards total, more than any other character-based theatrical animated series. This recognition validated what audiences already knew. This was animation at its absolute finest. These behind-the-scenes secrets reveal the incredible craftsmanship behind what appears effortlessly simple. Every chase, every gag, every musical cue was carefully constructed by talented artists who understood exactly what they were creating. Not just entertainment, not just cartoons, but a timeless, hypnotic experience that would comfort and delight generations. Chapter 8. The complete timeline synthesis. After exploring the history, the iconic loops, character evolution, and behind-the-scenes secrets, it's time to bring everything together. Let's trace the complete journey gently, slowly, as we wind toward rest. From Jasper and Jinx to global icons, the journey begins with Puss Gets the Boot in 1940. Rough characters who would be refined into the Tom and Jerry we recognize. Audiences immediately connected with their dynamic, and MGM launched a full series that would change animation history. Each decade brought evolution in animation style, technology, and storytelling, always reflecting both technological progress and shifting audience expectations. The 1940s to 1950s, establishing perfection. The Hanna-Barbera Golden Age, featuring award-winning masterpieces. This period emphasized sophisticated slapstick, precise musical timing, and that perfectly hypnotic loop structure. Viewers saw Tom and Jerry as eternal rivals, existing in a perfectly self-contained universe, where consequences disappeared and the chase always continued. The 1960s to 1970s, television transformation. Gene Deitch and Chuck Jones brought different styles at different points. Animation became sleeker, more stylized, adapted for television budgets and audiences. Despite changes in production, that core chase formula and hypnotic rhythm remained fundamentally intact. The 1980s to 1990s, expansion and experimentation. Tom and Jerry appeared in feature-length films, crossovers, and holiday specials. The universe expanded beyond short loops while maintaining what made them special. The hypnotic charm of their mostly silent interactions continued, now enhanced by modern animation techniques. The 2000s to 2020, digital renaissance classic shorts digitally remastered, introducing the characters to entirely new generations. New series like Tom and Jerry Tales preserved the chase formula with contemporary updates. Streaming platforms made decades of content instantly accessible worldwide. Social media created viral moments, GIFs, and compilation videos that reinforced their timeless appeal. The hypnotic timeline in review, every chase, every prank, every silent moment, all contributing to a continuous, deeply hypnotic experience. Early slapstick taught visual timing and exaggeration that became industry standard. Music and sound effects enhanced emotional impact, making every gag land perfectly. Hidden details reward observant viewers, offering something new with each viewing. This hypnotic flow explains why millions use Tom and Jerry as comforting background content, even to fall asleep. The endless loop. The timeline reveals a profound truth. Tom and Jerry don't exist in linear time the way we do. They exist in a perfect, eternal present, always chasing, always escaping, always returning to the beginning. And somehow, this brings us deep comfort. In a world of constant, often unwelcome change, they remain wonderfully, hypnotically unchanged. The same conflict, the same resolution, the same gentle rhythm, like waves on a shore, like breathing, like a heartbeat. And as we move toward the end of this timeline, toward the gentle conclusion of our journey together, let that rhythm carry you. Let the familiar comfort of Tom and Jerry's world embrace you, because their story, their endless, beautiful loop is always there when you need it. Chapter 9. Relaxing Reflections. The Sleepy Epilogue. After covering the full timeline, all major eras, every evolution of Tom and Jerry, it's time to let everything slowly wind down. This final chapter is for you for your rest, your comfort, your peace. Gentle recap from Jasper and Jinx in 1940 to the modern streaming era. The journey has been filled with laughter, gentle suspense, and playful rivalry. Each chase, each prank, each silent moment blends into a calming rhythm. Perfect for relaxation, perfect for background comfort, perfect for drifting into sleep. The calming effect of repetition. One reason Tom and Jerry feel so hypnotic is the comforting predictability. Tom's elaborate schemes that always somehow fail. Jerry's clever escapes that always succeed. Repeating patterns with just enough variation to stay engaging. This repetition creates genuine comfort similar to white noise, similar to a gentle lullaby. It allows the mind to slowly, naturally transition into a deeply restful state. A visual meditation. As you continue watching, or as you simply listen, notice the small details without forcing your attention. The exaggerated expressions that communicate everything without words. The impeccable comedic timing that flows like music. Background animations and sound effects that create a complete world. Each visual and audio cue acts as a gentle signal, helping your mind release the day's tension. The hypnotic loop carries you deeper into relaxation with each cycle. Nostalgia and comfort. Beyond pure entertainment, Tom and Jerry offer something deeper. Familiarity, safety, connection to simpler times. For many, these cartoons recall childhood memories, moments of complete safety and warmth. Nostalgic imagery combined with hypnotic pacing helps you detach from daily stress. You can simply exist in this moment, in this gentle space. Silent moments as breathing room. Many shorts feature silent passages with minimal or no sound. These quiet intervals serve as perfect breathing spaces for your mind. Natural pauses that give you permission to fully relax. No overstimulation, no demands on your attention, just gentle, comfortable presence. Your gentle send-off. As we near the absolute end of this journey, remember the timeless nature of these characters. Reflect on all the eras and stories you've witnessed tonight. Feel the comfort of predictability, rhythm, and gentle humor. Let go of any remaining tension. Tom and Jerry's endless chase becomes a calming soundtrack to your rest. Always there, always reliable, always comforting. You can return to this timeline whenever you need it. The loop never ends, and that means comfort is always available. Whenever you need to feel safe, whenever you need familiar joy, whenever you simply need to rest. Chapter 10. The Gentle Fade. This final chapter brings everything to its softest, most peaceful conclusion. Less about story or facts now, more about atmosphere, rhythm, pure comfort. Slowing down completely. The narration becomes very soft, very measured, like someone telling you a bedtime story from long ago. Visuals transition from any remaining action to the quietest moments. Tom yawning softly, Jerry curled peacefully in his tiny corner. Calm, minimalistic backgrounds. Everything moving slower now, signaling that it's time to wind down completely. Ambient comfort. Background sounds shift to their gentlest forms. Faint wind chimes in the distance. Soft piano notes, barely there. Gentle swooshes instead of crashes. Even familiar slapstick sounds are muted now, creating only the most soothing effect. Visual fading colors gradually dim. Shadows stretch and blend into peaceful twilight. Your eyes follow familiar patterns one last time, creating comfort and predictability, perfect for sleep. Rest and completion. The chase will continue tomorrow, but for now, it's time to rest. Tom and Jerry are timeless. They'll be here when you return. Nothing truly ends in their world. Humor and playfulness are always waiting. It's safe to let go now. Safe to drift. Transition into darkness. Everything fades to nighttime tones. The end of the day. Closure of the story. An invitation to sleep. Background sounds slowly taper away. A gradual, gentle descent into rest. Final whispered farewell. Breathe slowly. Imagine Tom and Jerry drifting into their own dreams. The gentle movements, the soft colors, everything at peace. And as the world of Tom and Jerry sleeps, so too can you. Good night. Drift into dreams. As our journey through the world of Tom and Jerry comes to its softest close, remember that the laughter, the chases, the playful mischief, they're always waiting, ready to begin anew whenever you return. But tonight, it's time to let go. Visualize Tom curling up with a gentle sigh, Jerry nestling safely in his tiny, warm space. The familiar house fading into peaceful twilight. Everything that was once energetic now moves slowly, rhythmically, like a heartbeat gradually slowing. Take a deep breath. Feel any remaining tension release from your body. With each soft sound, each gentle visual, your mind drifts further into complete rest. The chase will resume another day, but for now, let the quiet comfort of Tom and Jerry guide you into sleep. Sweet dreams.